one of the world's oldest works of literature, the Gilgamesh tablet was looted from Iraq during the Gulf War.
As humans, we claim to have a sufficient understanding of our past and origins, only focusing on discovering what is in our future. However, archaeological finds, such as the recent discovery of a massive tomb suspected to be the final resting place of Gilgamesh, continue to show us that we don't know as much as we think. Biblical accounts tell us of giants that existed, such as Goliath. If we tie all of this together, we begin to wonder if it's possible that giants truly walked this earth. Are giants still existing today? Is the discovery of giant Gilgamesh after the drying up of the river Euphrates about to change many things? Let's find out. Before we dive further into the discovery of Gilgamesh, let us look at a very pressing issue, the Euphrates River and why it is drying up. One of the most significant historical and geographical features on Earth is the Euphrates River. The Euphrates River winds through the countries of modern Turkey, Syria, and Iraq, before joining the Tigris River and emptying into the Persian Gulf. The Euphrates River has always captured the interest of academics, explorers, and poets due to its rich historical relevance and crucial role in the advancement of human civilization. As the longest river in Western Asia, the Euphrates is roughly 1,740 miles long. Its journey starts in the mountains of eastern Turkey, where the Murat and Karasu rivers are two of its many tributaries. After that, the Euphrates flows south into Syria and subsequently into Iraq. The river's historical significance is among its most captivating and enduring features. The Sumerians, Akkadians, Babylonians, and Assyrians were among the ancient civilizations whose emergence was significantly influenced by the Euphrates River. Mesopotamia, the land between the rivers, which served as one of the birthplaces of human civilization, depended heavily on it. Trade and communication between these ancient societies were made possible by the Euphrates, which also served as a means of transportation and fertile land for agriculture. The Euphrates was the backbone of the region's economy and society for thousands of years. Along its banks, ancient civilizations such as Uruk, and Babylon flourished, and the river's yearly flooding, combined with a system of canals, promoted the cultivation of crops like wheat and barley, sustaining a thriving agricultural economy. Additionally, the Euphrates River was important in mythology and religion. It was considered sacred and endowed with divine attributes in many ancient societies, including Sumerian and Babylonian. The biblical writings, especially the Book of Genesis, which names the Euphrates as one of the four rivers emerging from the Garden of Eden, reflect its meaning. The building of dams and reservoirs for irrigation and electricity production in the 20th century caused the Euphrates River to undergo substantial alteration. Notably, the construction of the Euphrates Dam in Syria and the Ataturk Dam in Turkey altered the course of the river, affecting the countries downstream, particularly Iraq. The Euphrates River has had a significant impact on modern geopolitics in addition to shaping the advancement of civilization. The nations that share its resources have experienced tension because of its seas. This is especially clear in the dispute between Turkey, Syria, and Iraq over the waters of the Tigris and Euphrates rivers. The Euphrates River is significant ecologically as well, supporting a variety of plants and animals. There is a unique ecosystem supporting a diversity of bird species and other wildlife in the marshes in southern Iraq. However, water management techniques and human activity have put ecosystems in danger. Despite that, the Euphrates River remains a powerful reminder of the intricate relationship between humans and the natural world. Why is the Euphrates drying up? The Iraqi Ministry of Water Resources issued a stark warning concerning the Tigris-Euphrates water system. They warned that the river system may be at risk of drying up by 2040. In the reports, the Iraqi Ministry of Water Resources blames declining water levels and droughts driven by climate change. They also blame low rainfall as a reason why the once bubbling river may soon go dry. However, some people believe that the drying up isn't because of a lack of rainfall, but because Turkey built massive dams and altered water flow. Areas that depend on the Euphrates for water are also impacted by government regimes that weaponize water. These regimes withhold water from other nations. A few years ago, the Syrian government blamed the Turkish government for limiting water flow from the Euphrates at the Syrian-Turkish border, according to the CSIS. Water flow has also lessened due to Turkish dams located upstream. The long-time political instability of the region has impacted water levels in parts of the Euphrates. The good news is that the Euphrates haven't wholly gone dry yet. However, it has experienced massive swings in water levels over the years. Researchers say that from 2003 to 2013, the Euphrates and Tigris basin lost around 34 cubic miles of fresh water. This was shown by satellite images taken of the river system. This led to some of the lowest water levels in recorded history for those rivers. A group of researchers known as the Inventory of Shared Water Resources in Asia also released a report that states that over the past 70 years, the natural annual flow of the Euphrates at the Syrian-Turkish border had significantly reduced. The flow of the Euphrates from 1930 to 1973 was about 30 BCM. However, data shows that the overall water levels are rapidly decreasing. From 1974 to 2010, the annual flow volume dropped to a disheartening 25 BCM. Let's explore further reasons why the Euphrates is drying up. Apart from low rainfall and climate change, another reason why this river is experiencing a bad time is due to dam construction. The Euphrates flow has been dramatically changed by the building of dams and reservoirs along its course. Turkey, Syria, and Iraq are among the nations in the Euphrates basin that have constructed dams for a variety of uses, including irrigation and the production of hydroelectric power. These dams control the river's flow, which affects the availability of water downstream. Water diversion and increased agricultural demand are also other reasons why the Euphrates are going dry. Countries in the Euphrates basin also divert water from the river for agricultural and domestic use. This extensive water withdrawal disrupts the natural flow, leading to a reduced volume of water downstream. The region surrounding the Euphrates is heavily dependent on agriculture, and as populations grow, so does the demand for water in this sector. Excessive irrigation practices contribute to the depletion of the river's water resources. Let's look into the discovery of Gilgamesh and the many controversies surrounding the discovery. Alongside the drying up of the Euphrates River, scientists have made a recent discovery in the Euphrates region that has sent confusion to the science community. Scientists in Iraq made a discovery in 2003 that makes them believe they've stumbled upon the long-lost tomb of the legendary figure Gilgamesh. For those who don't know, Gilgamesh is a legendary figure from ancient Mesopotamian mythology, known for his epic adventures and heroic exploits. He is the central character in the Epic of Gilgamesh, one of the world's oldest known literary works. Gilgamesh was the historical king of the Sumerian city-state Uruk, now in modern Iraq. He is among the earliest known kings in history, with an estimated reign of 2700 BCE. The primary source of knowledge about his life is the Epic of Gilgamesh, a compilation of poetry and tales. Gilgamesh is represented in this epic as a powerful and conceited monarch at the start of his rule. He oppresses his people and misuses his authority. The gods create Enkidu, a wild man, to be Gilgamesh's opposite and opponent after hearing the screams of his subjects. After a bloody struggle in which they each prove their strength to one another, they become good friends and go on many adventures together. The search for immortality serves as the epic's main subject. Gilgamesh gets fixated on the concept of eternal life when Enkidu dies. In an attempt to discover the key to eternal life, he sets out on a treacherous quest to track down Utnapishtim, the immortal flood survivor. He comes across heavenly beings, legendary monsters, and a great deal of difficulty that puts his character and resolve to the test. Over the course of his journey, Gilgamesh changes. He experiences emotional and spiritual growth, developing humility and wisdom. In the end, he is unable to achieve immortality, but he does get insight into the significance of living a meaningful life and leaving a lasting legacy. The story of Gilgamesh is significant for several reasons. It is a window into the beliefs, values, and culture of ancient Mesopotamia. The epic also explores timeless themes, such as the human quest for immortality, the nature of friendship, and the hero's journey. Gilgamesh remains a symbol of the human condition, with his struggles and growth mirroring the universal challenges and aspirations of humanity. This epic has influenced later literature and is a vital part of the world's literary heritage. Before we delve deeper into the discovery of Gilgamesh's tomb, let us talk about Uruk, the city that King Gilgamesh supposedly ruled. Located in what is now southern Iraq, Uruk, often referred to in the Bible as Erech, was one of the most important and ancient towns in Mesopotamia. This city has a rich history spanning thousands of years and was crucial to the development of early human civilization. The history of Uruk begins in the 4th millennium BCE, when it was just a little settlement besides the Euphrates River. It developed into one of the earliest real cities in the world as a significant urban center over time. With an estimated 50,000 inhabitants, Uruk was the center of a highly developed civilization by the 3rd millennium BCE. One of the most renowned features of Uruk is its massive ziggurat, known as the White Temple, dedicated to the sky god Anu. This architectural marvel symbolized the city's spiritual significance and showcased the remarkable construction skills of the time. Uruk was not only a hub for religious activities but also a center of trade, commerce, and culture. It was a key point in the ancient trade routes, connecting Mesopotamia with the Persian Gulf. The city's prosperity was linked to its position as a trading center, and it became known for its artisans, producing intricate pottery and artifacts. Cuneiform, the oldest writing system ever discovered, originated in Uruk. Cuneiform script was used to write on clay tablets, which marked the start of written history. The literary works, records, and administrative documents of the city offer priceless insights into the customs and government of ancient Mesopotamia. One of the earliest pieces of writing in human history, the Epic of Gilgamesh, features Uruk as one of its primary locations. The epic's main character, Gilgamesh, the mythical king of Uruk, has his adventures and quest for immortality set against the backdrop of this ancient metropolis. Over time, Uruk's importance waned, and the city declined, partly due to shifts in the course of the Euphrates River and changes in regional power structures. However, its legacy endures in the annals of history, as it represents a foundational period in the story of human civilization, where urbanization, writing, and culture were blossoming. Now, to the discovery that is sending shockwaves in the scientific community. In 2003, a German-led expedition team unearthed what is believed by many to be the entire city of Uruk, including where the Euphrates once flowed, the last resting place of its famous king. The scientists who discovered the city don't want to conclude that it is the grave of Gilgamesh, so don't get your hopes up. However, they are implying that it may be the tomb because it looks very similar to those described in the epic. In the book, Gilgamesh was described as having been buried under the Euphrates in a tomb constructed when the waters of the ancient river parted following his death. Scientists who explored the discovery said they found a building that looks exactly like the burial site of Gilgamesh, as described in the epic. Modern technology is to be thanked for the marvelous discovery. Through the differences in magnetization in the soil, you can look into the ground and see the differences between mud bricks and sediments in the Euphrates River, which gives a very detailed structure. One of the most astonishing things about the find is the structures described in the Epic of Gilgamesh. The research team covered more than 100 hectares, finding garden structures and field structures as described in the Epic. They also found Babylonian houses that were talked about in the Epic. Part of the discovery was the finding of an incredibly sophisticated system of canals. Evidence was found in those canals, which had structures showing that flooding destroyed some houses, which means it was a highly developed system. Is Gilgamesh a Nephilim? As we go further in this video, we will unravel the actual dimensions of Gilgamesh. According to the Epic of Gilgamesh, he is described as tall. He is described as part divine and part human. When you think about it, his description resembles that given to Nephilims. There are different theories surrounding the origins of Nephilims. One of them is that Nephilims were taught to have resulted from the copulation of angels and women. These Nephilims are described as being very tall and having incredible strength. These tall, supposedly extremely powerful creatures are the product of the crossbreeding of angels and humans. The English name for these powerful beings is the Fallen Ones, or Nephilims. They were frequently referred to as formidable fighters. On the other hand, there is also conjecture that God found the Nephilim's birth so repugnant that he had to send a flood to exterminate them. This could be the result of angel-woman mating. Even among the most intelligent experts, there are still schools of thought that have made objections, despite the fact that the majority of them concur that Nephilim is the product of angelic and female sexual relations. Another theory concerning the origins of Nephilims is that they are descendants of Seth. This is called the Sethite outlook. According to proponents of this view, the sons of God are males descended from Seth who married into the family of the wanderer Cain, despite God's commands not to do so. It was stated that the women descended from Cain followed other gods, which caused the men of the Seth lineage to turn their backs on God. Nephilim, the progeny of this disobedient couple, abandoned their parents and accepted the material world. Jewish historical records from the early 1st century indicate that Jewish intellectuals supported this viewpoint. Prominent academics like the well-known John Calvin and St. Augustine also support this view. So why do some people think that Gilgamesh is a Nephilim? Well, for one, the tomb he was supposedly buried in is about 9 feet tall. If the tomb is truly his, then Gilgamesh is an incredibly tall person. Also, a statue that depicts him is seen holding a snake and a lion. The lion he is holding in the statue has a mane, which indicates that it is a fully grown lion. A lion stands at about 4.5 to 5 feet tall. Males grow to lengths of 10 feet. If Gilgamesh is holding a lion with just one hand, as his statue depicts, then that means he is a very tall being. This is why some people think that the king of Uruk might have as well been the Nephilims that some texts talk about. When the issue of giants arises, be sure to hear speculations such as the Smithsonian destroying thousands of giant skeletons in an attempt to hide evidence. When it comes to giants, no one is certain about anything. However, some people say that the bones of these giants can be seen at the Smithsonian Museum. So, if you are keen on seeing a giant skeleton, you can take a trip to the Smithsonian Museum. While the drying up of the Euphrates isn't a good thing, we have to admit that without it, we wouldn't have discovered the supposed Gilgamesh tomb. The discovery of this ancient tomb will give us insight not only into the life of King Gilgamesh, but also into the history surrounding the Euphrates region. Before you go, please give us a like, subscribe to our channel, and turn on your notifications for our next video.